seismic event which happens once or twice a decade has struck Venezuela, particularly closer to the coastline, where massive casualties have been involved and has caused the damage of the existing buildings, loss of lives, and still there are so many more. Today we are going to learn about a phenomena what is referred to as an earthquake doublet. Welcome to Prajwal's Destiny. Today we are going to learn about how does earthquake happen, why does it happen even in the first place, in a very simple and organized manner. So before learning that, for example, once you imagine that you basically have twin earthquakes or a couple of earthquakes spread apart just 39 seconds. Now you can imagine the shaking of the ground is almost continuous. So the first earthquake struck with a magnitude of 7.2. So meanwhile, the second earthquake which has struck a magnitude of 7.5. So in a very simple term. So here, how does earthquake happen? Why does it occur in the first place? So first, we should know all the Earth's crust, the mantle and the pressure building inside the Earth's crust. So let us learn about this. We talk about the Earth's mantle. The upper mantle is what is referred to as a lithosphere. Now the solid crust plus the solid upper portion of the mantle is called lithosphere. Thickness of roughly 100 to 200 kilometers. Sometimes it can be even 70 kilometers. It can also be 70 kilometers. So here you can basically imagine as 70 to 160 kilometers. This is your lithosphere. Now this lithosphere is broken into subparts which are known as individual plates. This is your lithosphere. So meanwhile this lithosphere moves with respect to each other, but the movement is not going to be very uniform. What do I mean by that? So in just 1 minute you might imagine the shaking of the Earth's ground continuous, but how does it happen? Now here the Earth's crust could move. Now these individual broken subparts called individual plates move in different directions. So how does they occur? First they move in a very different direction and then massive earthquake have been struck. Then they would be sudden in the ground. So first you imagine you close a 2-4 inch of your palm. You close a fist and then you try to rub it. Now see, this faces resistance of air. Just like the interior of planets, these plates also move. But these plates also move in respect to each other, but they face resistance. So as they face resistance, the pressure keeps building up inside, and then the breach happens. The shaking of the Earth's ground would almost be very continuous. It releases massive amounts of energy which leads the shaking of the Earth's surface. That is what we refer to as an earthquake. So here you are in serious trouble, but the buildings would first almost collapse in an instant. But the point is that from where the earthquake had occurred is called foci or nothing, or it might be called something else. So the surface is perpendicular or above the surface or above the foci, below the foci there is called the epicenter. So from the point where it emerges as an earthquake, from point where earthquakes happens, it is called the epicenter. So when you again take a look at this map, then you will observe that the foci and let's say epicenter are so close to each other that leads to the phenomena of earthquake doublet. But what are these supposed to make us of? Now even the magnitude of 7.2, 7.5, what are these supposed to make of? So here these are called in a measurement of a large scale. Now a magnitude is just how much energy is the earthquake has released. That is called the magnitude. So we can basically measure the magnitude, and here you can see some graphs. You can read some graphs. That graphs are the signs of earthquake. Now these magnitudes are helped with the scale of the Richter scale. Now Richter scale is logarithmic in nature, so that's why an earthquake number 1 has almost 10 times more energy than the earthquake of number 1. I mean number 2 has 10 times more energy than number 1. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next time, guys. Check for more cool videos. Bye.